Good morning, guys, and welcome to my first podcast, Morning Coffee with Dr. Harrell. Now, the reason I'm starting this podcast is because I want to create an interactive platform. I don't really want to talk to you. I want us to have a conversation. And the topics of the conversation can be love, sex, intimacy, and relationships. Very few of us actually have an opportunity to have a one-on-one conversation with a therapist, a psychologist, or someone who specializes in relationships. So this could be a good opportunity for us to connect and to talk about these things that possibly are of interest to you. So, since it's the first time that we are actually talking, I think that's important to discuss what's the topic of today's podcast. And the timing is perfect because it's April, it's spring, nature is coming back to life. We feel more alive, more sexy, and more flirty. And if we're in a relationship, feeling more flirty might also mean that this emotion that we often talk about, it will come up in some context. And yes, as you probably guessed, the topic of today's podcast is jealousy. Now, when we talk about jealousy, often we talk about the destructive aspect of it, of the damage it can do to the relationship, about the pain it causes to us, those of us at least that are prone to this emotion. I don't think everybody have the same propensity to jealousy, but some of us do. And those of us who actually tend to feel jealous know how painful it can feel. So the importance of today's podcast is to actually have a fuller conversation about jealousy. Everybody understands what it is and knows that it can be destructive for the relationship, but very few of us know that their jealousy also has a gift for us. There is a treasure that this green-eyed monster is guarding, and to get there, we have a few tricks up our sleeves. And today, this is exactly the topic of the conversation, of how to use jealousy to fuel the passion in the relationship. Many of us talk about wanting to keep things fresh, for the relationship to feel exciting. So this is what we're talking about today, one of those most powerful elixirs to keep things fresh. Of course, only if used appropriately. So let's talk about it. Okay. So again, why the conversation around jealousy? There are several things. First of all, we know how volatile and intense the experience can be. When you're in the moment, especially if you're caught off guard and you're seeing your partner talking or flirting with someone else, you know that kind of visceral, powerful, overwhelming emotion that can come up from the very gut, very core of us. So one thing that makes it important for us to talk about jealousy is the power and the volatility of the emotion. We have to be able to find a different way to deal with this explosive material to transform it from a destructive one to co-creative, to powerful, to positive. So that's one thing that makes it important to talk about jealousy. Second piece is, actually might be a surprise, jealousy is kind of a taboo. It's kind of a taboo topic. We often feel ashamed about feeling jealous. So when we feel jealous, we feel like it's a very base emotion, and people as progressive and evolved as we are probably shouldn't feel jealous, although we do, right? So often we try to deny and push it aside, and instead of actually having a conversation about it. So that kind of denial and shame about jealousy, the taboo topic that jealousy is another reason to actually have a conversation about it together. And the last reason is actually what I mentioned before, the gift that jealousy has for us. The other part, the constructive part of jealousy that we often neglect to realize and see. So this is the third reason why we are going to talk about it today. So in this case, what is this gift of jealousy? What is this treasure chest that the green-eyed monster is guarding? And that is the fact that jealousy can be an extremely powerful aphrodisiac. Jealousy can create passion and revive relationships I'm thinking like nothing else, actually, for that matter. So this is a poison that can become a powerful medicine. Now, the reason jealousy is such a powerful aphrodisiac is twofold. First of all, it breaks the familiar and predictable flow of the relationship. All of a sudden, you see your partner not as your property, not as somebody belonging to you. You realize that you don't own your partner, and that kind of sting of jealousy makes you realize that tomorrow is not promised, right? That the predictable and familiar flow of the relationship, something that you've been taking for granted, is not the only way things can unfold. There are many other possibilities, and you might not be the only person interested in your partner. So that break in the familiar and predictable flow is one thing that creates distance and makes you see your partner through a different pair of eyes. And that's the second part of why jealousy is such a powerful aphrodisiac. It makes you see your partner through a different pair of eyes, from a different angle. It makes you see your partner as an object of someone else's desire. And it makes you remember how that someone else, in whose eyes your partner was the object of desire, was you at some point in the beginning, right? So that makes you reconnect with that part of you that saw your partner as an object of desire. And it kind of boosts the stoke of your partner. It makes his or her value, social value and value to you, much higher in this moment, because you realize you're not the only one, not the only potential one who might be wanting to be with this special person of yours. So this is how jealousy creates distance, lends you a different angle, a different pair of eyes, and boosts your desire to reach out and reclaim your partner, right? So this is what makes it such a powerful aphrodisiac. Now, that means that there's also a lot of anxiety to manage, because once you realize that your partner is not yours, which they never are, right, and that the relationship is not a given, there's a lot of emotion that can come up around it. There's lots of anxiety of losing your beloved, losing the relationship, of lots of questions that can come up. So part of our ability to use jealousy constructively is also being able to tolerate that anxiety that will come up. Now, for us to be prepared for the jealousy whenever it comes up, we have to know how to use it when it comes up in a way that is constructive, in a way that will actually that will transform this jealousy from poison to aphrodisiac. Right? So the actual process is very simple. It's only 2 steps that need to take place. The first one is to voice your feelings. So instead of succumbing to shame and keeping the jealousy, the emotion to yourself, you have to commit to actually speaking up and telling your partner how you feel in the moment. So, for example, and there's a specific way actually to do it. Obviously, when you do it, if you do it through accusation or blaming your partner, that's not going to end up well. We know that, right? So the alternative way is to actually own your feelings, because the jealousy that you feel is your emotion, so you have to own it. You have to be responsible for it. You have to claim it. You have to say, you know what? This is my feeling. I'm responsible, but here what is happening. And to do this, there's actually a very simple structure that we can follow to have this conversation with our partner, and it's ABC. So when you do A in the context of B, I feel C. For example, when you don't introduce me to the people we meet on our way out, I feel jealous and maybe neglected, right? Or I feel unimportant. So when you do A in the context of B, I feel C. In this way, you own the responsibility for your feelings, and you show your partner in what context these feelings come up. So in this way, you actually can talk about your feelings and you can own the responsibility for them, and you can show your partner what is happening in this moment. So this is step one, right? To basically voicing your feelings. When you feel jealous, talk about it, say something. And two, expressing your needs. So once you actually explain what's going on and explain your emotion, right? This is kind of a foundation to reaching out to your partner. Expressing your needs is basically telling your partner what is that you need to feel loved, to feel appreciated, to feel like you are the number one for your beloved, right? So expressing your need is basically giving your partner a key of how to fix the situation, how to make it okay, how to make you feel better, how to help you manage your emotion. So for example, it might be, can you hold me? I would like to feel your hug. Or can you tell me that you love me? Or can you tell me whatever special words you want to feel? Or can we do something together? Can we spend some time together, right? Or anything that would help you reconnect, anything that will help you to reclaim the moment together. So basically, this is the process of using jealousy for reconnection and for fueling the passion in your relationship. Expressing your emotion and then expressing your needs, right? So this is pretty simple. Now, it might sound simple, but like any kind of relationship, there's at least two people involved. So that will definitely require your partner's participation. So we need two to tango, which means we have to have a partner that'll be game, that'll be willing to play with us, that'll be willing to help us manage our emotions, that will be open and willing and receptive to reconnecting with us, to reclaiming that moment with us. So there's several prerequisites that will make this use of jealousy productive. So the first one is trust. Obviously, there has to be a trust in the relationship. This is fundamental prerequisite. It has to be in place. Without it, what we talk about will not work, and jealousy will be quite destructive. So trust means that you trust that your partner never intends to hurt you, and you trust that your partner has your best interest in mind. So that kind of fundamental trust in the relationship is a must to transform jealousy into this elixir of passion. So one prerequisite is trust. Second one is pretty obvious. It's communication, right? We have to be able to express how we feel. We have to know that our partner will be receptive to hearing us, and we have to be receptive and open to hear our partner. There has to be a flow of communication between us. So that's a pretty obvious prerequisite as well. The third one is commitment. And that kind of goes a little bit with the trust. We have to be committed to the relationship. Both myself and my partner, we have to know that we're both in this together. This is our relationship. We are committed to it. So there has to be some foundation to the relationship, some ground to it. So both parties have to be committed to it. And last one, really important one, never elicit jealousy on purpose. That also is known as manipulation, right? So you never elicit jealousy on purpose to get the benefits of it, to get your partner railed in, hooked in, to elicit the emotion in the partner, unless it is something that is discussed in advance, right? So if you want to play this game, right, if you want to try out what it would be like, to go to the bar and maybe flirt with someone and have your partners watch you and see if it elicits jealousy within them, and then kind of navigate that, this is fine. This can be actually a fun game. However, if you intend to play this game, your partner has to be a willing and aware participant, which means you discuss it and agree upon the rules in advance. So you talk about, okay, so what is going to happen, and you talk about if things get overwhelming, how do you exit the game? That's an important piece. Otherwise, you never elicit jealousy on purpose, because that actually breaks the rule number one, which is trust. All right. So basically today, guys, we were talking about how to transform the destructive power of jealousy into this elixir of passion, how to use jealousy to fuel the desire and passion in your relationship. Lots of us talk about wanting to keep things fresh, wanting to have that spark in a relationship after many years together, possibly. So jealousy can be a really powerful aphrodisiac, a really powerful way to rekindle that passion in the relationship if used correctly. So this was our first episode in a monthly podcast of Morning Coffee with Dr. Harrell. Again, my hope is for this podcast to become a community, for us to be able to talk about sex and love and intimacy and relationship. I will read every single comment, and I will make a point to actually answer every single question that you guys post. So if you liked the video, like, comment, and share. If you want to actually for me to talk more about specific things about, again, in the context of sex or intimacy in relationships, comment or DM me. Also, you can go to my website and email me or call me through my website. My website is westhollywoodcouples.com, and you can email me or call me through my website. Again, it's westhollywoodcouples.com. Also, if you have been thinking about doing more in-depth work on your relationships, you're welcome to give me a call for a free phone consultation, and maybe we'll talk some more of how I can help you and how we can grow together. So this is it for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is Dr. Harrell. I will see you soon.